Welcome to Comics on a Pyre, a channel to have a meaningful conversation over movies, life, books, and shows, and maybe just a spot to spend time BSing over comics. If you like your entertainment with a bit of substance, then you, my vagabond friend, have come to the right tavern. Tether your horse by the post and come right on in and warm yourself by the fire. Tap that subscribe button, and for the next few minutes, my fellow George Carlin reprobate, lend me your ear. I remember in the late 80s, early 90s, when I first started collecting comics. I ran across a group known as the X-Men. There was this one member of the team that was all blue and covered in fur. He definitely looked bestial in nature, and so it came as no surprise when I found out his code name was the Beast, also known as Hank McCoy. After picking up my first issue, I continued to read the current X-Men titles for a while, following Hank and his adventures with the group. And then one day I decided to look at some old back issues, diving deeper into the X lore. What I found surprised me. I'd known Beast was a founding member of the X-Men team. It was referenced in various stories at the time, and when I looked at the first issue, I only saw 4 characters that I could guess their name. Where was Beast? And then it dawned on me. Beast was right there in front of me the whole time. He had just looked, I would say, different. Instead of a heavily matted blue mane I was used to seeing, I now saw a heavily muscular, though simian in nature, looking character. His arms were thick, denoting strength. His feet were huge and wide. But where was the cobalt-hued fur, pointy ears, dagger-like claws, and canine-edged teeth? In my puzzlement, I began to scour the covers of earlier X-Men titles. Before the all-new X-Men title came out, because I knew Beast was not in their member roster. But I found nothing, just the bare-skin rendition of this character. It was not until I did some investigation, some good old reconnaissance work, until I found the answer to my question. And it turns out that the Beast transformation didn't even happen in an X title or a self-entitled run like they do some other characters when they want to give them some backstory without interrupting the flow of the main story title. No, the events explaining on just what transpired happened in Amazing Adventures Volume 2, Issue 11, which was released in March of 1972. In this issue, it seems that Hank takes a leave of absence from the original X-Men team. He accepts a job opportunity from the Brand Corporation, a top-level research facility that has a section for genetic research. While there, he stirs the ire of another top-tier researcher by the name of Professor Carl Maddox. Unaware of his threat and true intentions, Hank throws himself into his work, laboring tirelessly throughout the night. When he eventually finds success, it is finally revealed what he is working on. It turns out that it is a hormonal extract, a chemical cause of mutation. He claims the solution can temporarily turn any man on Earth into a mutant for a controlled period of time. Why he would want to do this is beyond me. Most mutants in my reading of comics wanted the exact opposite. A solution that can permanently suppress their mutant gene and turn them human. But, oh well, for the sake of the story, we'll just go along with this. Ecstatic over his recent success, Hank hurries to tell his superiors, but finds out by eavesdropping that Professor Maddox was spying on him the whole time and is aware of his recent breakthrough. Through a plan of subterfuge, he is making a plan to steal Hank's formula that very night. McCoy, refusing to let his work fall into another's hands, storms back into the lab and in an act of desperation quakes down the solution. Its effects are both instantaneous and drastic. In what can only be described as a scene of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Hank's flesh sprouts gray hairs all over it. His ears become pointy, and his teeth become as a canine's. After a series of events, he is able to thwart Professor Maddox's plan, but in the end finds out that the transformation that he has undergone is now permanent, leaving him that way forever. But it is not all bad. The serum extract that morphed his appearance permanently also granted Beast increased superhuman agility, endurance, speed, strength, as well as his senses, and also granted him extraordinary healing factors. But what is that I hear you saying? His fur is gray and not blue? When did that happen? Well, it seems that the serum will continue to have an effect on Hank, and he officially made his blue appearance while battling Quasimodo, the Living Computer in Amazing Adventures Volume 2, Issue 14. Well, there you go. How the Beast got his fur. That's it for this episode. If you like what you saw, then check out my comic YouTube channel, Comics on the Pyre, for other videos like this one. Tap on that bell icon before you go. And oh yes, as always, until next time, keep reading, my friends.